So my latest book review is Managing the Mobile Workforce, Leading, Building, and Sustaining Virtual Teams by David Clemons and Michael Kroth. So I gotta say that I'm very interested in the concept of remote work. I'm a solo lawyer in Florida, Pasco County, practicing in the city of Newport Richey. And I just have my own little executive office, solo by myself. However, I have recently begun using remote workers, virtual paralegals, to assist me with representing my clients. And I've been really interested by this concept of remote work, the idea of not being tied to a physical place, being able to have team members who I maybe never meet in person. But with the remote work, people are able to have a more personalized work schedule, work on their own time, and maybe perhaps also take advantage of work-life balance, being able to work from home, things like that. So needless to say, I saw this book, Managing the Mobile Workforce, and I thought I'd check it out. And my biggest positive thing I can say about reading this book is the 2 weeks or so that I read it. I'd read it in the morning at Starbucks or Panera while I'm drinking coffee, and I like to spend about an hour before work doing some pleasure reading. And this, reading this book really got my juices flowing and my ideas generated about working with virtual teams and how to make it work. So I would say that's the biggest benefit I got out of the book. Now, one of my big critiques that I have is, and it's not isolated to this book alone, but many books about technology and the changing world and how to do the 21st century so-and-so or whatever, they often have these paragraphs that are almost like boilerplate, standard. You can cut and paste it from anything. These paragraphs I'm talking about are like, the world is changing. Mobile devices are now fitting in the back pocket and able to do incredible blah, 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 blah. And so, I think it's pretty much a given that most people understand that technology is changing the world. And I felt that this book was a little heavy on that. So, you could have cut about 50% of that out and slimmed it down. And it's not necessary to introduce every new concept with a repetitive introduction explaining how technology is rapidly changing everything. So, however, one of the key elements that this book, Managing the Mobile Workforce, does touch on, and I think one of the key ingredients to working with remote workers, virtual teams, is the concept of trust. Trust is very important. And the book does provide some very practical... Good afternoon, this is Gabriel. So again, I must say that the concept that I found most beneficial through reading this book is the emphasis on trust. And I would say that the book does a good example of providing some tips and techniques in order to build trust or make sure that you're focusing on trust and establishing trust in these remote relationships. So 2 other points. One thing that this book tried to do, but unfortunately they didn't do a very good job, is they're trying to be all cutting edge with technology, and they have this thing where you can text them a special number to their book, and then they'll send you a link to all these extra bonus materials like resources and checklists. But I really just wanted to access this from my computer, this bonus content, and I couldn't get it to work. I spent about longer than I should have, almost 10 minutes probably, trying to forward my text to my computer and all this stuff. And I'm pretty technology savvy, but my phone isn't one where I'm trying to access this material. So at the very least, if you want to do the mobile thing, that's cool, but have a website and just have that material there, easy access. Kind of like a lot of people are talking about in web design, how your website should look good on mobile. Well, I would say conversely, any mobile content you have should be easily accessed from a computer or tablet or whatever. But that's a minor thing. And then the final thing, this concept I really like when they were talking about the power of virtual teams. They talk about 2 different contrasting normal traditional teams that are located in a physical office with virtual teams which can be spread across great distances. And they talk about the co-located team container and the virtual team container. So the co-located team container is your traditional like bucket or pail, where it's a physical place. You throw all the team members in there and they're all working together. The virtual team, however, in this model is similar to an atom, where the manager is the nucleus in the center, and then all the team members are spinning around off their own energy and generating new energy and very like cosmic virtual energy. And trust is the glue that holds and keeps all of these little atomic particles in place as they're spinning around. So that was a visual metaphor that resonated with me strongly and inspired me to keep pushing forward and exploring my work with virtual teams. So one more time, again, this is Managing the Mobile Workforce by David Clemons and Michael Kroth. I definitely, I give it like 50-50. If you're interested in the concept of virtual teams and you want to get some inspired ideas, I would say check it out. But I wouldn't give it a glowing review because there were some drawbacks to it. Anyway, thanks for watching.